right, today we're going to start off with our information from Chapter 2. I skipped ahead to the dietary fiber slides. I believe it's slide 17. Not to say that slides 1 through 16 aren't important, but I feel like these slides um, require a little more in-depth information, and this will help you then with your assignment worksheet that is due this week. So dietary fiber, as your text says, are plant components that are not digestible. When you watch that carbohydrate video that I included in this week's information, you saw that there were different types of carbohydrates, right? Carbohydrates that are higher in fiber um, affect our blood sugar and affect our digestion much more differently than carbohydrates that are very low in fiber. When we're talking about high fiber foods, we're talking about whole grains, fruits, vegetables, seeds, nuts. So I basically food that's passing through the stomach and intestines unchanged. Okay. There's two types of fiber, soluble fiber and insoluble fiber. It's important to note the difference because while both types of fiber are important, they're going to behave a little differently in our bodies. Soluble fiber helps form a gel in our gut and it helps remove cholesterol from our body. It also helps with blood sugar control. So when we eat an orange versus drinking grape juice, or excuse me, orange juice, that orange juice doesn't have any fiber in it, so it gets into our bloodstream very quickly and raises our blood sugar very quickly. When we eat the orange instead of drinking the juice, we have that fiber, which slows down that rate of carbohydrate absorption. So we see a much lower rise in blood sugar. Insoluble fiber is important for everyone. It helps decrease your risk for constipation. It helps decrease risk for hemorrhoids. It basically increases the transit rate in your gut. They're both necessary for good health. So let's talk about the sources of them. So our soluble fiber, that's our apples, oats, dried beans, citrus fruits, grapes, carrots. Insoluble fiber, that's the outer layers of whole grains, which is why we want to have whole grain carbohydrates versus refined like plain old white bread. Strings of celery, hulls of seeds, skins, and corn. This aids in elimination, or basically increases the weight and the amount of time or the incidence of bowel movement. Thank you. So here's more of those health benefits. So our soluble fiber helps with decreasing our risk for heart disease, controls blood sugars, and also holds moisture in stools so it softens them. So someone that has painful, hard stools that are difficult to pass, soluble fiber can help soften that stool and making it less difficult. The insoluble decreases our risk for constipation, hemorrhoids, and then diverticulosis. That's a condition of having out pockets or pouches in the colon that, when inflamed, and they turn into diverticulitis and can become very painful. This type of fiber can also or may help with weight management in that it's helping a person feel fuller longer. So we talked last week about the recommendation, the DRI recommendation, 14 grams of fiber per 1,000 kilograms or calories. And then we also see the DRI for carbohydrates in general. So remember that term AMDR, acceptable macronutrient distribution range. That's 45 to 65% of our calories coming from fiber or from carbohydrates. Now, fiber, we want to remember if something is a good source of fiber, if a food is a good source of fiber, it's going to be 5 grams of fiber or more. If something is a moderate source of fiber, it's going to be 2 to 4 grams of fiber. Okay, and then something that is less than 2 grams of fiber wouldn't be considered a good source of fiber. Not that we shouldn't eat it, but if you're looking for high fiber foods, you'd want to look for the 5 grams or more.